with the importance of the Sokovia Accords, do you think we'll see other big moments from the MCU in later seasons? Like, could we get a blip at some point? That would be wild.
Blip
I didn't even
would be
think
wild.
about that. Yeah.
What I think is going to happen is I think they're going to follow this comic book Civil War a little more closely in this.
Yeah.
I think he's going to side with Iron Man and become like the face of super soldiers and the Sokovia Accords and all that, and like come to regret it. Welcome back to the Break Room. With great power comes great respect. Yep, that's right. It's the after show, and today we're discussing Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, episode 6, 7, and 8. Duel with the Devil, Scorpion Rising, and Tangled Web. Hit that graphic, baby!
Oh, yeah, the whip in, that's right. I won't sing over the music.
I'm Brandon Barrick, and joining me today, he's basically paying me pennies for this work. It's Evan Yee.
That's right, and you should be grateful for them.
That sack of cash and pennies, oh boy. So much happened in these 3 episodes. Norman and Secretary Ross talking it out. Best buds. Will Iron Man break from the Sokovia Accords? And I am ready to drop an insane theory about Green Goblin.
I can't wait. I'm truly, totally in the dark about this. I have no idea what
I
the theory
warned
is.
Evan that I had an insane theory that's going to light the internet on fire.
Yeah.
It's going to be awful. You're going to enjoy it, but you got to stick around for it.
r/Marvel, take this and run with it. Please.
Take it and run with it, r/Marvel Studios. We're going to get into all that and more. We, of course, want to remind you to check out nerdriot.shop, where we have our Midtown High merch. You know, the school that Peter doesn't go to in this show. We also have our homemade suit t-shirt. If you're feeling that Spidey spirit, want to show off those, you know, those designs in the notebook that eventually get made into a real suit.
Yeah.
We'll soon see.
Love that.
We also,
that's great.
Yeah, I know, it looks so good. We also have our Fantastic Four merch right now, our Fired Up shirt featuring Johnny Blaze. No, not Johnny Blaze, Johnny Storm. I wish we had a Johnny Blaze shirt.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Eventually. We also have a Galactus shirt, and I think there's a new hot Silver Surfer shirt.
Ooh.
So keep your eyes out for that. Check it all out at nerdriot.shop. Okay, we're going to get into these 3 episodes, but we're going to recap them quick, real fast. Evan, can you start us off, please?
Yeah, it's time for me to give you the sit rep. We continue the...
Almost pulled it off.
We continue the parallel stories of Peter and Lonnie, both of them facing some hard times. Peter fights Daredevil, one of the best fight sequences of the show so far. So fun, so cool. He tells Peter, I'm trying to help you understand what's really going on. Osborne is hiding something. And he also compliments Peter. It's kind of like the fight between Captain America and Spider-Man in Civil War. It feels very reminiscent of that because they're so friendly and they're so chummy.
They're both New Yorkers. Hey, we're just trying to get along in New York City, eh?
I'm walking here. We're eating pizza.
I'm walking on the rooftop here. I'm sneaking around here. I'm breaking it in right here.
I'm sitting here. We like eating bagels together.
Hey.
The bacon, egg, and cheese.
Hey, bacon, egg, and cheese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They give you a Red Bull. It got a straw that goes with it. Hey, yo.
Osborne gives us an explanation of his relationship with Otto Octavius, or so we believe. They used to work together, but he says that Otto stole Oscorp devices and he was interested in using gamma energy to power those devices. They'll eventually use that to track him down. Secretary Ross pursues Octavius, who puts up a fight in a great jazz sequence.
Oh, God. I love Otto Octavius, man.
Yeah.
Change the name of the show.
And he was ready to get away with it until Iron Man, in a kind of like old school classic kind of look, shows up to stop
But he never
him.
panics.
Yeah.
He just plays it cool.
He's so chill.
Yeah.
He just wanted to farm for XP. He was playing the
gamer.
His
His desk's a mess.
Yeah. What do you think his Discord handle is?
8-armed freak. Metal arm.
Not Squid Boy.
Not Squid Boy. Bowl cut with an attitude.
The only bowl I need. Put the Green Lantern thing on there.
No, don't do that. Bowling for soup.
Ooh.
He did love soup.
He did love.
He wanted soup.
He wanted soup. He said, "All right, you
soup.
can come for the soup."
Vincent's hard up for Ock, man.
Yeah.
Vincent's putting in the work. Vincent wants to be there for him. I need to make sure you eat.
Yeah.
Just checking in.
Just checking in.
Always touching him too.
Carmilla from the Scorpions scares Lonnie into leading her to their hideout. And Pearl chooses the exact worst time to visit Lonnie as a now souped up Matt Gargan, aka Scorpion, outfitted by Otto, of course, comes in to attack the 1/10 gang, straight up killing a guy.
Ooh, a brutal
stab. And it's great use of the comic frames to
Yeah.
kind of like separate that out.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Peter gets everyone out of the building safely, but Scorpion really beats on him, destroying the white suit and stabbing him through, also bonding himself to the Scorpion outfit, which is like a problem that Scorpion has. He can't take the suit off of in the comic books. The same thing has happened here. We got like kind of a tease that, it could melt the gamma radiation could melt the metal.
Right, and fuse to your skin.
Fuse to his skin.
Yeah,
which I assume will happen to Doc Ock at some point too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Peter only makes it out thanks to Norman's intervention with what looks like the Goblin glider. When I saw it in the sky, I was like, is it happening already? But no, it's just the glider, and Norman It
would have been wild if he was on the Goblin glider, but in the Iron Patriot suit. He was like, I'm just stealing Iron Man's thing.
Right. Norman tells Peter he needs to get stronger, and with great power comes great respect. Kind of bastardizing the line we know so well. Peter takes this information poorly, thinking he's about to get fired. We get this really emotional episode with beat up Peter considering his options. Pearl and Lonnie formally break up because Lonnie just will not come clean about what's going on. In the meantime, after an awkward hangout between Nico and Harry, where he reveals that Peter is Spider-Man, the two seem to make up, but Nico is still mad at Peter. So Nico and Harry getting closer. Peter and Nico still have their issues, but I'm kind of glad they've resolved that weird tension that was between them, but I still think there's more to it, right? We even saw Nico's amulet do the little glowy thing while she was driving.
I actually missed that too. Iron Stark in the YouTube chat says that we finally saw Nico use her powers when driving Harry's car. We see her interacting with it a lot more.
Yeah, at one point it was like the amulet was talking to her.
Yeah.
And then as she's driving, it kind of gives her a little warning.
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff.
I wonder if Nico in these series of episodes is very upset, right? That Peter's been hiding him being Spider-Man forever. Right. It's like we're like brother and sister. We tell each other everything. Yeah. So do you think Peter's gonna get upset when he's like, wait, you've had a magical entity around your neck the whole time?
I think if Peter's smart, he wouldn't get upset at anybody for hiding something, right?
Yeah.
He would just take that as okay, we can reset here and move forward from it. I don't think he'll be upset, but if something does happen to Nico because of the magic and he's not made aware of it yet, he'll feel guilty or something like that.
And he couldn't even save his best friend.
And I do appreciate that Harry told Nico, hey, I only know he's Spider-Man because an act. I was in the right place at the right time. Right.
And he doesn't say that his father knows, but Nico, I feel like, is smart, right? And she can maybe infer, but I think Harry, I think in that moment was also pretty comfortable, or pretty good about separating off the chain of events. Yeah.
This batch of episodes ends with Lonnie and the 1/10th gang getting a lead on Otto's tech from a masked up chameleon, and Peter getting the suit he's always dreamed of thanks to Harry, his little boyf, who has made the red and blue suit. Go get him, Tiger.
Incredible.
Go get him, Tiger. Yeah, the Osborns stealing all of the Spider-Man lines. Osborns have a monopoly on Spider-Man lines right now. Really, really great stuff. Really good batch of episodes. I just kind of love the emotional connections on the show. Even Peter and Aunt May kind of recreating what we saw in the MCU a little bit. This Aunt May still doesn't know that he's Peter, that Peter is Spider-Man. But there was a similar scene in Homecoming before at the end when, Aunt May figures it out, when Peter thinks he's I've lost this dark internship. It's no, there's more to it than that, right? He can't come fully clean about all the problems he's having, but Aunt May also trusts him, but is worried, right? But let's talk about the Daredevil of it all, right? That's a fun cameo.
Very interesting. I mean,
he was the one stealing from, or he had broken into Oscorp, even though we got a weird scene with Jean.
What was going on, right?
The interns where she's sneaking around. She's like, oops, I must be on the wrong floor or something. So that's a little weird.
Yeah, and we're only 2 episodes from this season ending. I mean, this is a really interesting question. Who's really pulling all the strings here, right? Could Jean be working for someone else and Daredevil is working by himself? What is the deal with Norman and Otto here,
Yeah, so Norman and Otto, they have a history. We saw a photo of them working together. Yeah. We hear Norman's side of the story. We've heard Otto complain about Norman in previous episodes, he shouldn't get everything. I should have this. This should be mine.
Yeah.
But then, we get this one-sided story from Norman where he's Otto was obsessed with gamma technology, but I said it was too dangerous because it can melt the casing, blah, 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 blah. And we have to remember gamma the gamma radiation and gamma technology in the MCU, which again, this is not the official 616, but it is a timeline very similar to the events of the MCU. Gamma radiation is important for not only the Hulk, but it's part of like super soldier serum, right?
Yeah.
Because the Hulk was created as part of experiments on Captain America's blood to try and recreate it under Thaddeus Ross's guidance. And that's how we got the Hulk. So gamma radiation is kind of tied to super soldier serum. So I wonder if like Norman and Otto together were working on like a super soldier program, maybe with connected to Ross also. That's how Norman has like close ties to Ross. And it's split apart. Now we've heard Norman's side of the story. But maybe Norman did steal tech and like kicked Otto out and made it seem like it was all him from the jump. I don't know. I'm sure Norman betrayed Otto in some way. And it's not just all Otto was bad.
Yeah, because it seems like Otto mostly just wants recognition, right? In general. Whereas Norman,
he doesn't want the cash. He left the cash behind when he was running out of the facility.
That's a great point. And Norman also like is so bent on finding Otto that he takes the earpiece out when Spider-Man's like,
Again, and he's like, another time when Norman disappears right as a fight is getting bad.
It seems like he's just clearly has his own agenda, right? And we also get that conversation he has with Ross about the Sokovia Accords. And he's like, well, listen, whatever you need, Oscorp's ready to help.
He's basically saying, I am developing super soldiers to help hunt down.
I have our own agent, and I will sign him up. And and I'll sign on behalf of him.
Security guards.
John Gallo.
Yeah, the guy who works like downstairs at the front desk. And who walked in on Daredevil.
Oh the fight
with Daredevil.
He found Peter
after the fight. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But it does seem like Norman wants to develop super soldiers. For the government. Obviously, that's probably how he's going to get to his Green Goblin-esque form. But because he also, remember, he takes some of Peter's blood.
Oh, right. And
at his own medical facility, he takes some of the blood. Again, the blood is all part of the super soldier program.
Yeah. So I wonder where that, let's just say Norman Osborn's pulling all the strings. He let Otto run away with more tech that was like, could be dangerous, right? And was like, purposely was like, I'm the creator of all these inventions, like riling him up. Do we think that there's another entity kind of like Norman's like employing someone else to keep like pushing, like it's like we just need to find a person who's like worse and worse and worse, who's going to push the tech to its limit to beat up Spider-Man, right?
Yes. Also, I think as like a proof of concept of Spider-Man, right? To be like, if we have this dangerous tech out there, they're going to need my super soldiers. They're going to want to use them. So he's allowing Otto to kind of like fuel this fire, right? Because when he says, I'll call the authorities, he doesn't call the NYPD, he calls the DOGC, right? He calls Thaddeus Ross. He kind of goes around the local cops because he's like, no, I want to escalate this as fast as I can and show that like, no, there's a real threat, there's a real problem in New York City. And the Oscorp super soldiers, led by Spider-Man, can be the solution to that problem. And
so do you think he's so eager to find Otto because it's now it's getting out of hand? Because I think in the events of the episodes, right, like he hadn't been like basically beat by Scorpion by the point when they find Otto, I believe. Yeah, I don't know why now he's like, now's the perfect time. Maybe he feels like, because remember, he's been pushing Peter. He's been developing all this tech with Peter. He's ready to show something to Thaddeus Ross, even if it's not Peter, right? He's ready to show the Spider-Man. So I think he's just like, he's trying to fast track things. Yeah. He's going as fast as he can. And he also realizes he's got to keep Peter in check. So he's got to be like, no, we'll hunt down the guy who this is. Now's the time to reveal it. I think he feels like he's ready to go forward. He's got a glider. Yeah. He's got programs set to go. He's ready to roll it all out. He just needs the perfect thing. Daredevil, I think, is probably on to Otto. Probably maybe he's already tracked Otto down. Maybe even like roughed him up a little bit. And realized like this is just a semi-independent agent. Right? Yeah. And I think he knows that Norman's up to something too. That's why he broke in there. Maybe Jean was working with Daredevil. I don't know. That was like my initial hunch. But yeah, what if she's working for someone else? She was an internship plant, Because Norman did bring in all 4 interns on purpose because he knew they were smart individuals and potentially Spider-Man. I don't know, because there's still the Doc Connors of it all. She has put together this
this like kind of magnetic engine thing that it's like a self-regenerating battery that Peter was working on as part of his internship.
Yeah.
Has done very little work on it. She's done all the work, but always covers for him.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're cool. Like Norman loves you. It's great. Is it like she recognizes that whatever Norman's obsession with this small young man is, it doesn't matter to her? She's like, I can do this secret work down the lab. She's bringing all the animals. One of those crates had an iguana in it.
Yeah.
Stay away from me, Geiger Gunners! And then you also have Dr. Whitley, right? Who becomes the wizard at some point, but like he's also, who knows what he's got going on. He's angry, he's pissed.
And he's like begrudgingly like, all right, Peter, you did it. This is a breakthrough.
It was like adequate. Yeah, I know. What a show.
One of our sponsors this week is HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. HelloFresh is a game changer, particularly after a long day at work. You don't have the energy to do all the shopping and the chopping and the cooking and the cleaning and the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. HelloFresh makes it easy to find time to eat well with 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week delivered to your door. There's over 100 add-on items you can add to your weekly box, like quick breakfasts, packable snacks, beverages, and more. I just got some of their little fruit smoothies. There's like a little kale and fruits, and they're delicious. Plus, for those nights when you're really in a rush, HelloFresh's new ready-made meals go from the fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. We've been using HelloFresh for ages now. One of my favorites is the udon stir fry with pulled pork and vegetables. It's quicker, cheaper, tastier than delivery. I just cooked a burger that they sent with like burger and fries and an onion jam. You cook these onions down, you add a little balsamic. It was sweet, it was savory, it was delicious. Get up to 10 free meals and a free high protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/Breakroom10FM. One item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/Breakroom10FM. Thanks again to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, for sponsoring the channel.
Yeah, I do wonder what the future is because we are, like we said, we're only 2 episodes away from this season being done. And so many characters are like go on to have like powers and things like that in the comics, like their comic iterations of it. Will be interesting to see where exactly everyone ends by the end of the season and if they have powers or if they never get powers, if they never become, maybe they're just purely references to just be like, oh, this is a name from a character that had a fun backstory. Let's like work with that, Yeah,
potentially. I do think this show is very smartly just planting a lot of seeds and they can reap the harvest whenever they want.
Yeah.
Let it grow slowly. It doesn't all need to happen at once, right? I think it's just smart to kind of like put stuff out there, keep the audience waiting, anticipation.
Yeah.
When is it going to happen? But I think it's fun. And I think it's good to subvert expectations too.
Yeah.
In a lot of fun ways.
100%. I mean, if Norman becomes Green Goblin and then they like vote him out of the company, then Connors becomes his new mentor. She becomes the lizard. And he's just like, why do my mentors keep turning into
what's going green? What's happening?
I wanted to take some chat questions while we're on this topic here. Let's see. I like this question from regular Twitch chatter, Kobe1 Kenobi, who's asked, do you think that we'll see that this, if, Coleman Domingo has indicated that Norman Osborne will become Green Goblin. Yeah. He has said that I'm looking forward to the audience seeing the transformation into Green Goblin in the next seasons. Maybe he meant episodes, seasons, we have, not sure, but that is likely going to happen. Kobe asks, do you think the show will let Green Goblin actually have a goblin face, or will it be a mask like in the Tobey Spider films?
Oh, like a physical transformation.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one.
I think that's tough. It's more fun to me when Norman can still like present to the world as Norman, even though his brains may be a mess or his personalities are divided. A physical transformation will be interesting. Here's my insane theory.
Let's hear. Yeah.
Hear me out. As soon as the glider came in and Norman was not on it, I was like, and you're going to hate this. What if the Green Goblin is an AI? It's an artificial intelligence that Norman has like created somehow. And Norman didn't even send that glider. That was like the Green Goblin AI rushing to the scene to save Spider-Man for whatever reason. And maybe right now the AI is working for good, but the split personality could be Norman trying to hide the fact that his AI has gone crazy and is doing like crazy things. I don't know. It's maybe a bad theory.
No, I don't. I don't.
And AI is such a weird boogeyman.
Yeah. I actually
for a
think
long time in many projects.
Yes, right.
But it's almost like an Ultron-esque figure. Like
yes.
he is kind of supplanting Tony Stark as a mentor for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, what if he has created this? Like, no, we're gonna find a way we're gonna catch all these rogue metahumans, and we're gonna use these robots that are run by this, GOBLI, some bad acronym. Right? But yeah, and then the AI gets away from him and becomes like, and then at some point he gets fused with it or something weird. Like, just a fun thing.
I think it's good. I actually like the theory that it could be an AI. I don't agree that it went there on its own. Right. I think Norman had to do something because there would be no reason for it, or for him to know like how he got back or whatever, or he'd have to be like, okay, Goblin, you saved me this time, but next time I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was my thought when the gliders show up, and then the next episode, obviously, him taking the blood. I'm like, oh, he's gonna like inject himself with his blood at some point. And I can't remember how it happened in the original comics exactly, but I do know at some point Green Goblin captures Spider-Man and unmasks him and reveals that it's Peter Parker, and he learns that information, and then through that, his son, who was Harry, who's friends with Peter in the comics. In the original run, Norman like tells his son. I'm really paraphrasing the whole thing here, but at some point that leads to the son becoming like Hobgoblin.
Right.
So I'm wondering, if Norman's not the first one to transform, if Harry is or something weird like that. I don't know what they're gonna do here, but I definitely want Coleman Domingo to be the Green Goblin.
Yeah, I think
fully at some point. But I'm fine ending this season without that transformation happening.
Yeah, I think it would be too rushed at this moment. I think these batch of episodes, we're finally seeing Norman really act in his own self-interest. He doesn't have to be like the nice guy to Peter anymore. He doesn't need to get Peter on his side. So I think that maybe that's like episode, like one of the last shots of the episode is him opening a thing to reveal like whatever the Green Goblin will be, be it an
and
AI
being like, fine, I'll do it
suit.
myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he gonna? Do you think they'll give him? Because this show is so hyper aware, of the Spider-Man lore and like all the different iterations. Like this Otto dancing, I think was supposed to be like a Spider-Man 3 reference of like Toby dancing when he has the black suit and he's like being all cool and stuff. Like, I think that's a reference to that. Will we hear Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborne say, like, back to formula? Will he say, I'm something of a scientist myself? Like, he's got to make one of those meme references.
I think so. I think the scientist one, the fact that they leaned into it in No Way Home, I think is, like, high potential to do that in this one. Especially if it's, like, how did you recreate the gamma suit for yourself? Right. I'm something of a scientist myself. Yeah.
Because this Norman doesn't seem to have the threat of the board, right?
Yeah.
I don't see the board being like, this isn't great for Oscorp. He seems fully in control of Oscorp and can do whatever he wants. He's got secret medical facilities. He's got secret engineering teams. His son's able to tell these engineers what to do. Do you think those engineers are like, man, Harry Osborn came in today. I'm at my desk. I've got 6 meetings today. I'm on Slack all the time.
Yeah.
We just had a company retreat I had to go to. It's bullshit. And then his son comes in. Harry comes into my office and is like, hey, can we get a new design mocked up? Same suit. Let's just do a little red and blue on this one.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool. Like, do I have to do what he says? Who do I bill that to? What do I tell my manager who's on my ass? Do I say, Mr. Osborne's son came in and gave me this work? Who do I work for? Huh? Who do I work for at Oscorp? What's going on around here? Where's the org chart?
Yeah, I mean, I think Harry just lays down the ID, his tag, and says like, "Hey, you just got to do it."
This is like
that's it.
This is like Will Smith's son, like Jaden rolling in somewhere and being like, "My dad says I get to do whatever I want with this movie. I'm the Karate Kid now."
Unless Harry has a team of engineers who just work on Harry projects, like in Silicon Valley, the show where a bunch of people have like nothing jobs and they sit on the roof all day.
Bump them down.
These are just like the dudes who just like they're like tossing balls in the basement or whatever. They're like, all right, if the sun comes down, we'll make it, but if he doesn't, we're just chilling. We can pay him. Yeah.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. All right. Some other questions here.
Harry came to my office and he made me 3D print all these little statues of Nico Minoru. Some girl from his school. Am I allowed to do that? Am I going to get arrested for this? What is he doing with these little Nico statues?
He said that they were for Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't really believe him.
He made me put her design on a pillowcase? I don't understand. Does anyone know what a waifu is?
He gave me a piece of her hair?
He gave me like a piece of
And he said
hair.
recreate how she smells?
He wants me to make him like a necklace that looks like her necklace? What?
And give it some AI where it talks to you just a little bit and only you can hear it? I don't know. I think he's projecting on that one.
I got to get off of Harry's team. I got to get out.
How do I get on the Connors team?
I gotta get off Connor's team. She does all the work.
She's been making breakthroughs. All right. Arthur Dennis had super chatted before. They were saying, did you see the spider in the window in Norman's office in episode 3? Could he be behind it? So the spider that bit Peter, I'm assuming, is what they're talking about.
It was in the window?
In the window. We're going to have to go back to episode 3. Brian, let's pull up the clip if it exists now. If it doesn't, just say it doesn't exist. But
Incredible.
Yeah. All right, we're coming back in. Incredible. Wow. I feel like he isn't behind. It would be very roundabout for the show to explain that Norman was behind the spider bite.
Yeah, I mean, it is a green portal that it came through, right?
Yes.
And green is very Goblin coded.
It's giving Goblin.
But that makes me think it would be like a Norman from a different multiverse who was like, I'm going to send this Norman a thing. And the fact that it was tied into like Doctor Strange and that weird creature he's fighting, which we still don't even know, that might never even come back.
I mean, we did see some other shots of Doctor Strange in one of the trailers, I believe. Hopefully that's for this season, one of the final 2 episodes. But yeah, I mean, I really want to know where that spider went.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know if he would
it up afterwards.
Yeah, but we have so little information about where they were coming from before that. So hard to know for sure. But I think it wouldn't be Norman who created the spider. It does feel like, I
think Norman is like seizing the opportunity.
Or
to take advantage of this situation.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
It's fallen into his lap, and he's like, I was already developing a super soldier program.
Yeah.
This is gonna be way easier. I'll just take this kid's blood.
Yeah. Call me Morbius. When you introduce me at the next charity gala, call me Morbius.
Who am I? I'm Dr. Michael Morbius. I really flubbed it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Dr. Michael Morbius.
One of our sponsors today is Mando. And if you smell like a sweaty linebacker and would rather smell like a good smelling linebacker, Mando's the brand for you. Okay, Mando's whole body deodorant comes in 3 forms: invisible spray, solid stick, and invisible cream. It is clinically proven 72-hour odor control. So it's perfect for long days at the office, or long days live streaming, frankly. Since using Mando, my stink is on the brink. My funk has been debunked and my stench is quenched. Okay? Mando stops odor before it starts, and it's safe to use on your entire body. Any of the stinky bits, okay? Mando comes in 4 cologne quality scents: Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, that one's my favorite, Pro Sport, and Clover Woods. Mount Fuji has like a nice crisp kind of citrusy vibe to it. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off the starter pack. Hi-yoo! Use code BREAKROOM at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
I wanted to shout out Tello Vienna 8002, who just got a gift sub from Sarah Hatch-Dorian on Twitch, saying, "Hey guys, I'm an OG trash bag and have been following New Rockstar since the WandaVision era.
Nice.
It's my birthday today, and I just want to say thank you for always streaming. Happy birthday, Tello Vienna."
Happy birthday. Also, we're always streaming?
Yeah, I've just,
We were turned off at some point.
that time lapse, I just feed the stream into that camera and it just runs. No audio.
You know, when you watch us here on YouTube or on Twitch, we only exist in that moment. And
Yes.
as soon as the stream's over, we're gone.
We're gone, yeah.
Thank you for giving us life and for giving
I've only
us
been alive
object
for
permanent.
2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had quite a life. That Super Bowl stream was one of the longest moments I've been alive. And you know what? it was special to me. Now the Severance show is melting into like all the shows.
It's the Predator meme. Severance fans, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Breakroom fans.
You son of a bitch! No, it's like we're reintegrating, and it's moments are just flash. I'm at this desk talking about Severance. I'm at this desk talking about your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm at this desk and I'm talking about Invincible.
How was that third camera there? Oh my god. Incredible. Just some incredible stuff. Captain Cannabis saying, while we're talking about Severance, Do a Flip guy got some video, got some voice lines. My man got paid today. Yes, Zach Cherry.
Zach Cherry came in.
He reprised his.
The character's name is Clev.
Clev
I don't
TV.
think we ever knew the character's name.
Yeah, he got a name.
Clev.
We got his channel name.
Yeah.
Clev TV. Incredible stuff.
Now the woman Nico raced in
Yeah.
that moment. Do we think that's Speed Demon or
From earlier? No.
or Speedball or what's the name of the character? It's in the video games. You got to do all the things. She streams all the time.
Is this the first game?
No, it's a Spider-Man villain.
Is this the first game?
The Spider-Man villain? You at home? Call in. I've gotten my computer out now.
Sarah Hatch Jordan was saying, I'm begging for It's Giving Goblin merch, please. I think that could do well. There's something there. It's Giving Goblin. If we get a confirmation of a green
We need
Goblin.
like a little Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Spider-Man villain.
Will Clev be in Doomsday? Yes. Screwball. Thank you,
Let me take it
Emmanuel.
again.
Thank
Let
you,
me take it
Kobe.
again.
Thank you, Jackson
Thank
Jack.
you. Thank you for yelling at me. I'm a big dum-dum. I'm reintegrating.
Here we go.
Get them all straight. That woman that was racing Nico Monaro in the car, do we think that was Screwball? Because that was giving Screwball.
It was giving Screwball, yeah.
Like even the female, because in the Spider-Man video game on Sony PlayStation, it's like a female, really annoying voice. Just like always making you do tasks and do it faster, which I always hate missions like that. They're really annoying.
Yeah. The flying mission in the second game was like do it super fast to chase the spider bot.
Yeah. It's annoying. So I was wondering if that's like Screwball. I feel like the show is like everyone is somebody. New York City is just populated with Spider-Man allies and villains.
I know. I mean, Captain Cannabis also in the Twitch chat, as well as some people in the YouTube chat earlier, apologies for not remembering the username, were saying, Captain Cannabis specifically saying that was a badass Mary Jane variant. Some people thought it was
it's
MJ.
like cool old Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Too old for this, Petey. Sorry, Petey, you were born too late for this, Mary Jane. Ooh, I don't date kids. I'm Mary Jane.
I'm Mary Jane.
I'm Mary Jane. I'm on my third marriage.
And she's dating Gwen Stacy?
Ooh. I heard a corner of the internet just explode, man.
From here?
From here. Yeah, I think it's Screwball. Because I think they said Screwball's going to be on this show.
Oh, okay, fun. Yeah. I mean, that would make sense. Because again, everybody is everywhere.
Everybody's somebody on this show, man.
Except for the background characters that don't move.
Yeah.
Completely static background characters.
Hey, that's Invincible does the same thing where they reuse character designs like constantly.
I mean, the animation style has grown on me, I will say.
Yeah.
Especially when
I think
moves
the fights
into
look
the
really
fights.
good.
The fights are looking good, and you could tell that I think they put a lot more money into these fights in the later back half of the season.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one, it was like a little bit more stilted in the first couple episodes, but now I think it's all kind of really gelling, and we're used to the approach. And I think it's a very unique thing that also does feel like expressly comic booky, but in a good way.
We were talking about this too with some of the character designs. I feel like the younger women get kind of short shrifted on the show, like Nico and Pearl. Like their faces don't have a lot of lines built onto them, or like even like bags under their eyes or anything like that to make them more expressive. And I think that hurts them a little bit. Whereas characters like Peter and like Lonnie, and like a lot of the older characters, even like Aunt May, they get more expressive lines on their face, so they're able to emote more. I just think it hurts them a little bit, because like when Pearl was crying, it's like very sad, but she literally has eyes, mouth, and like nostrils, and like that's it. And then they throw tears on, and it's like I'm losing some emotiveness with this face. It's a little too simple.
That's the Green Goblin outside.
The Green Goblin's on his glider and he's gonna get us.
He said you can't make his giving Goblin merch. Yeah. That's my thing.
Also, every time Pearl is like, I love the beach. It's
I know.
Oh, give this girl powers already.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
Come on.
She does seem the most likely between her and Nico. It's like one of them next. Like
I mean, Nico's already presenting powers.
So you think she was using her powers during the driving scene?
I think yes. I think something. Now I'm really wondering if it like her mother's soul is trapped in this amulet, right? Because I do believe that her parents. I don't think they're going to say that her parents are part of an evil organization in this show.
Yeah,
she's like too concerned about them. I think they're gone, but like gone in a magical way.
Yeah,
and like when Harry's kind of joking about tarot and like, oh, that's just whatever.
Yeah,
like it's very serious for her because it is ways she's still connected to her mother and maybe her father too. So I do think, I don't know if she can do like capital M magic,
right?
Sling ring style. She's no Ned.
Ned? Nico? Wait, starts with
But I think it's there and she's open and she's receptive and it will manifest somehow. I see like Nico before Pearl, like final episode.
Yeah,
something's about to happen to Spider-Man. She now knows that Peter is Spider-Man, and she will do something
out of either necessity or by accident. Or realize, and then maybe she'll never be able to do it again.
Is there a world where it's like Doctor Strange brings her the spiders, like you got to send this spider back to Peter so that he can get bit and become Spider-Man? Because if he does, I don't know.
Oh, interesting. Emmanuel in the chat saying her mother's gonna get the Lorna Wu treatment. Ooh, brutal. I know people don't like that episode. It's my favorite episode.
We want to shout out our sponsor, Prolon, whose 5-day program gives you the tools to get your health goals back on track after a Super Bowl Sunday of nothing but junk food. They've got a science-backed plan that makes it easy to stay focused and achieve real results. Prolon's fasting mimicking diet is a revolutionary plant-based nutrition program that nourishes the body while making cells believe they're fasting. We did Prolon's January fasting challenge and loved it. Enough so that we're going to do it again this month. The 5-day program includes snacks, soups, and beverages designed to keep your body in a fasting state. No guesswork or planning required. Plus, you get motivation and guidance from longevity and nutrition coaches. After just a few days, you get more energy. I was feeling better, sleeping better. I woke up just feeling better every day. Plus, once I was done with my 5 days of Prolon, I felt less tired after meals. It was really good. The program was researched and developed for decades at USC's Longevity Institute and is backed by leading US medical centers. Prolon helps support healthy blood sugar, enhanced skin appearance, fat loss, and improved energy and focus post-fast. 3 consecutive cycles of Prolon have been shown to reduce your biological age score by an average of 2.5 years and your waist circumference by 1.5 inches. To help you kickstart a health plan that truly works, Prolon is offering the Breakroom listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day nutrition program. Just visit prolonlife.com/breakroom. That's PROLONLIFE.com/breakroom to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. Once again, that's prolonlife.com/breakroom.
Questions about, the Sokovia Accords and kind of the more world building stuff here.
Let's go.
Dill Pickles asking, 1113 on Twitch, asking, with the importance of the Sokovia Accords, do you think we'll see other big moments from the MCU in later seasons? Like, could we get a blip at some point? That would be wild.
Blip
I didn't
would
even
be
think
wild.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have to be many seasons down, right? Because it will be interesting to see how they handle time on this show.
Yeah.
We know it's going to get a 3rd season already. Is Peter going to stay? He's a freshman? Freshman, right?
Yeah, Midtown, yeah.
We'll see how long he stays in freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Because if they start getting too far down the line, you bring up a good point. Like, when does the Stones come into it?
And then he's going to have to apply for college, and we're going to see him get rejected from every college again.
Yeah.
I don't
Brutal
need that.
stuff.
I don't need that.
What I think is going to happen is I think they're going to follow this comic book Civil War a little more closely in this, especially with Iron Man showing up in this episode, still aligned with Ross, still on that side of the Sokovia Accords. Because by the end, when was it he changes? It wasn't until Infinity War, I guess, that when Bruce was like, you got to call Steve, basically. Was it Bruce or someone was like, you got to call after after the Black Order showed up on Earth. They were like, you got to call him. He's like, okay, I'll call him. I don't want to talk to the guy. But I think in this, what we're gonna see kind of happen to in the Civil War comic books. So plug your ears if you don't want to get spoiled around this for 2 minutes, and then you can unplug your ears. Peter Parker in the comic books aligns with the side of like, yes, superhumans should register, and he goes and he gives a very public press conference where he reveals him as Spider-Man, where he reveals himself to be Peter Parker. He later goes on to regret that and goes to the other side. His little web swinging back and forth pendulum. But I think we'll see that happen here, where he's going to side with like Iron Man and stuff. Even though he loves Cap, I think he's going to side with Iron Man and become like the face of super soldiers and the Sokovia Accords and all that, and like come to regret it.
Yes.
So I think that's where we're heading now. Will we make it to the blip? I don't know, but it'll be interesting to follow that path, because I do think Dr. Otto Octavius, I call him Doctor, I respect the man. When he's like, he was ordering vibranium.
Yeah,
he was making a deal to get some vibranium. Right. I think he's dealing with Ulysses Claw, who at this point is still alive, because we're just after Civil War.
Right, yeah.
Claw dies in the first Black Panther movie. Yeah. So at this point, Claw's still alive. Killmonger hasn't got him yet. So I do think, he's dealing with Claw. So I think we're at that point in the timeline.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And will Vulture show up? Because they did have the Battle of New York in this timeline.
Or at least
pre-Civil War happened as it did.
Yeah, and I don't know if they specified, but they were like after the events in New York or after that. So it would be funny.
Adrian Toombs maybe around there somewhere.
It would be funny if they reveal that it wasn't like a Thanos battle; it was something else.
Oh,
like it was a different. Or it was just like the Hulk and Abomination fight, but like more, but pulled up and worse. Yeah.
The battle for Harlem got a little.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's lots of other chat questions. Now's a good time to start sending in some more questions. As we kind of start to discuss a bunch of different things. Flip side here, this is jumping back to when we're talking about the super soldier stuff. You mentioned that Osborne just wants to make a super soldier. There was a scene after Peter got beat up, and Oscorp possible there was a nurse that drew his blood. Could Norman try using Peter's blood to make Spider super soldier with Oscorp tech?
I think. Yes, I don't know. It seems like Norman's not big on the spider theme, right?
Yeah.
I think he's more. He was impressed that he's healing so quick, right?
Yes.
He's loving to see that. Right. He's like, ooh, that's great for a super soldier. I think, he just wants to make super soldiers.
Yeah.
I don't think he is worried about them being like spider.
Yeah, I don't think he would make a Captain Arachnid.
Right. Is that your Captain America reference?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going for?
I know.
I did appreciate like Matt Gargan saying like arañas.
Yes, I know. I forgot.
You think he knows about the people, the tribal people?
I think so.
Living in the rainforest, who speak perfect English.
Oh, do we see Madam Web?
I hope so hard we see.
And I hope it's Dakota Johnson.
I mean, yes, live action Dakota Johnson spliced in a la Donald Glover in the Spider-Verse movies. No, give me old Madam Web.
Yeah. Old Madam Web, voiced by Dakota Johnson.
If it's revealed that, bring her in, please. Make her just like do an old lady voice.
Yeah.
Don't modulate it for her. Be like, Dakota, that was great. Can we get it a little more geriatric? Oh yeah, sure thing. Oh,
you're so annoying. Your voice is like nails in my head.
Cow chicken. Ha ha ha, been very funny.
Can someone open this Pepsi for me? Drogo was asking, could Norman have captured or killed Scorpion after saving Peter? This is a really interesting point
out
too.
Of the webbing. We saw him just kind of like sitting in the fire.
And Norman does tell Peter's like anxious to get back to the fight. He's don't worry, he's got all the authorities' attention now. But do you think that Norman would then, because he's obviously got something against Doc Ock and he's chasing him down, this is a tech that's now on the loose that Spider-Man hasn't stopped, like very public-facing tech.
Yeah.
Would Norman also now be like, I've got to go stop Matt Gargan?
I think Norman sees all this chaos as just ultimately good for what he needs. Even if, Spider-Man hasn't stopped him in this instance, Norman could be like, we have the tools to help stop this thing. I think Norman doesn't want to stop it for free.
No, definitely not. Or without like the public thing or something.
And I think as long as Matt Gargan's out there causing problems, he's like, we can use this to our advantage. Again, because Norman walked away and took out his earbud, I think the Green Goblin AI is the one that went and saved Spider-Man, brought him back, and Norman was like, thank God he's here now. I guess I'll heal him up, and I'll say I did it.
Yeah,
but like I think the Green Goblin AI took over.
Green Goblin. Yeah. Just asking the Green Goblin AI, like, hey, Goblin, set an alarm for 11 a.m. and beat up Scorpion.
I'll get him for you, don't worry.
Let's see. Captain Cannabis was saying, I thought Doc Ock was going to take the vibranium and make his forearms out of it. Do you think that a vibranium Doc Ock arm, that'd be
pretty sick. Yeah, what does he want to do with this vibranium if he's saving it for himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw the arms, but they're just like kind of just separate arms. I did like the way they kind of connected Doc Ock and Scorpion's technology.
Yes.
Like Scorpion's tail can extend. It's very prehensile. Obviously has that sick blade on it.
Dude,
so brutal. But yeah, I like how it stretched out and showed kind of its like spinal components. And then it could shrink back up again and be like the more traditional tail. It's also like in his back. Which is nice. It's not coming out of his butt.
But not coming
like that. But yeah, I like that. I like how it's now fused with him. He's gonna be like, I can't get this off.
Yeah.
But it does make sense. Yeah, maybe he's using the vibranium to build his arms that'll he'll eventually wear. It doesn't seem like he wants to wear them yet.
Yeah.
It's just like using this.
It's like kind of like the more atmospheric or whatever. Yeah. Like, yeah, he definitely. It will be interesting as we get clarity.
He'll test it on Vincent, and it'll kill Vincent, and he'll be sad.
Oh my God, Vincent becomes a real Doc Ock. He goes, I guess I'm some sort of octopus now.
What am I, some sort of Dr. Octopus? And Doc Ock's like, you're not a full doctor yet. You're still just an intern.
Pre-med Ock.
Pre-med Ock, dude.
Willem Art on YouTube asking, does Peter have spider senses? I haven't seen him use it.
Ooh,
that is a great point. We haven't seen that. Yeah. I mean, we can see him reacting to things, obviously, but nothing has been. We haven't attention drawn, right?
I didn't even track that. Yeah, because I was trying to think during that fight where he killed the kid with the brick.
What a classic clip!
I think he kind of sensed, but they didn't really show us him sensing it, right?
Yeah,
he just knew to move. I mean, it was cool seeing like Daredevil kind of employ his techniques to dodge the webs.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They haven't really honed in on Spidey sense yet. And normally he just like happens to be always listening to police scanners and be like, oh, there's a problem over there.
Yeah, or he gets the video game markers put into his eyes.
Yeah,
so he knows
I
where
mean,
to
that
go.
was such a video game thing. Right?
Yeah,
like, they keep making weird little video game references in this.
Thanks, Mr. Osborne. You can follow the map, Peter.
Yeah.
That was so goofy.
So yeah, I wonder if that'll come in like a big moment.
Yeah, I mean, it could be now that he has his new suit, a slightly newfound sense of purpose. I really like that Peter was like, Spider-Man's supposed to help people. Like, we can see that this Peter Parker obviously is like the thing that really has bogged him down is a little bit of this like fear of his strength, but also like the amount of people that he's trying to serve, right? Not a new theme, but like that is like the core issue. And we're kind of seeing him be like, okay, I need to help people, and that's what I'm going to do.
Though I do think Norman's words are going to ring in his ear at the wrong moment in like the finale, and he's going to go too hard against a villain. He's going to cause something. Because again, like this, Spider-Man hasn't dealt with a death while he's powered, as far as we know. It seemed like Uncle Ben was dead before he got bit. And his parents are gone too. Everyone's parents are dead on the show.
When he was like, oh yeah, Harry, you don't have a mom. Nico has foster parents.
We've all got dead moms. Our moms are gone. And now we're together, hanging out, playing 4 games at once, which is a horrible idea. We all got dead moms. The Dead Mom Club. Though I don't think Norman or Harry's mom's not necessarily dead, just gone.
Just gone. Yeah, he's gone. Very interesting.
My mom's just a bitch.
As a kid,
my mom took my PlayStation away. I wish she was dead.
Oh. Yeah, they sent her away because she was
asking too many questions.
She wouldn't let him play Fortnite.
My mom took away all my V-Bucks and I'm pissed.
Mom, I get the V-Bucks for free.
I need to be part of the Fortnite crew every month. All passes, all the time.
I will sell my car for more V-Bucks, okay?
More V-Bucks. I drive an Audi.
I crashed my dad's Audi the first time I drove it. It's so goofy. Did you ever want to play 4 board games at once? Like as a kid? I read a book once, and the characters in the book, they combine all the games, and I thought it was so fun. And then I tried to do it with my siblings.
You ever try and like
Never
make
worked.
a game yourself? It is so bad.
Yeah,
always.
it's really
Always
hard.
bad.
It's really hard to make a game.
Also, Candyland, game of chance. Monopoly, BS. Unless you play by all the rules. And if you play by all the rules, it's a long, boring, dumb game. And the point of the game is to teach you that capitalism is bad.
Yeah.
The game was developed to show you that capitalism doesn't work.
Shri was asking, and I'm sure many other people, do you think we get a Kamala cameo too? And I'm sure people have been asking all the stream, like, what other Marvel characters are we going to see in these last 2 episodes? Obviously, before the show came out, there was that big spread, Brandon saw it in person, of all the different characters that were going to appear in the show. We've already gotten so many characters that have kind of made their like MCU time debut like in this show almost.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there were any big ones. I mean, we haven't seen Captain America show up outside of a picture, a photo in Norman's office. So maybe if like he shows up, but yeah, I don't think there are any more that were kind of teased in that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we got Iron Man. We got
like
Doctor
Miss Marvel would be
Strange.
really interesting to see.
Yeah,
like another hero like that.
kind of shifting
I
the
think
timeline
the only
around.
one maybe is like Wilson Fisk.
Oh yeah, he's supposed to. Vincent
hear
D'Onofrio's
that
supposed to be in
Vincent
this.
D'Onofrio was reprising his role. Now, I don't know if that's like a weird season 2 thing, and they've already recorded
Sure,
it.
yeah.
And, like, we just don't know when it's going to come out.
Yeah.
They might reveal Wilson Fisk to be mayor, right? Like we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Like even though in the MCU timeline he wasn't mayor yet.
Right.
He's going to be mayor and like Born Again.
Yeah.
But maybe in this universe he gets the mayoralship a little earlier or something like that.
Yeah, and then also like Sarah has joined.
What if just like Iron Fist shows up and everyone's like, oh, that's who they brought?
That's who they brought.
That's who they got?
There's 2 of them. There's Danny Rand and there's another guy.
There's 2 of them. Yeah.
And Colleen Wing. There's 2 of them. There we go.
I think we'll get Jan Rog.
Yeah. Let's get Jan Rog in this.
Get Jan Rog, dude.
I think everyone's been asking for
Jude
more
Law was
Jan
around.
Rog.
He was filming
Skeleton Crew.
Got a few pickups for him as Jan Rog.
Yeah, they're like, hey, just step in the booth for a little bit. Just give us a few Jan Rog.
Just
lines.
Spiderman meets him and he's like on the street. He's like, you haven't seen like a marvelous woman flying around, have you? And Peter's like, I've seen a Miss Marvel, but I think she's a little young for you, sir. And he's like, it's all right. I like him young. You're like, Jan Rog, this is planet Earth. You don't roll like that here.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, I'm a Kree. I'm a pink-skinned Kree. I thought it was okay.
Telviana saying we got to get Madison in this show. Yes, that would.
I
be
thought
very
for a
funny.
second, who was listening to something? And I was like, is it Madison? Was it Aunt May was watching something on TV?
Maybe
There was, or no, she was listening to like a self-help tape or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
is this Madison? I thought for a second it was going to be Madison. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was.
I don't think so. GSU Eagle, great idea here. Bring a secret invasion in this universe. This is a
Okay,
really,
yes.
actually a great property to
in here.
redo
That's
Secret
actually
Invasion.
a great idea.
Yeah, that is sick. We can get Jan Rog there.
That I mean, that's like a fun season 3 reveal, right?
Yeah.
Where have Peter working with a hero the whole season 2.
Oh my god, and it was.
And then it's
it was-
revealed that like, oh no, that was a Skrull.
It's Rhodey.
It's
He's
right.
working with Rhodey.
Just do the same story? I don't think so, buddy. Pearl, they make Pearl a Skrull. Nico's a Skrull.
Whoa,
Everyone's a Skrull.
wild.
Peter's he's actually on the Skrull home roll. He's on Skrullos and he doesn't know it.
The whole
I'm the only one?
That's how the planet is. That's how season
yeah.
1 ends. The planet's about to be destroyed, and everyone turns back.
So, yeah. Like, sorry, Peter. You were on Skrullos the whole time.
Yeah. I just read this Fantastic Four comic actually where the Fantastic Four are all kind of split up, but Reed and Sue are together, and they enter a town of Doombots
Okay.
that are all disguised as humans, but like their prime directive is to still kill Reed Richards. Or it gets churned into, there was an old lady that really helped out Victor Von Doom. And he was like, oh, I want to help her out, so I'll have all these Doombots pretend to be humans and protect her. That's like their prime directive. And second directive is kill Reed Richards. And so then they end up finding that out that all these Doombots have been pretending to like have a society for their own town for years. And that the lady, spoilers, is dead.
Oh.
And a Doombot
They just kept going.
became
Became the lady.
Yeah.
So they can keep living?
Yeah, so that's what's happening here. All the Skrulls are like, we'll just let this kid do whatever he wants. He got bit by the spider. Just let him,
All the Skrulls are like, we're stronger than him. And they're like,
yeah, just let him do it. Yeah, just put on the tech. You need the tech to just pretend, you know?
Skeevo, you have to get mugged today. Me? Why? I'm strong enough. They're like, we need a Skrull to get mugged so Peter feels okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I got mugged last week. I feel like you guys like making me get mugged.
Now we spin the wheel every week. We spin the wheel.
Can I see the wheel? I feel like my name is every slot on the wheel.
Skeevo, I don't know what to tell you, man. The wheel's for the prime intelligence. Wrong culture. Wrong culture. Other characters that people are asking about. Black Cat. Do we see a Black Cat?
Yeah, I was wondering when someone was breaking into Osborne.
Oh yeah.
Is this like?
It would make more sense.
But I knew that was the Devil episode, so I was like, it's probably Daredevil. But like,
Jean Foucault could become Black Cat if she's kind of sneaking into places. She takes on a different moniker.
Yeah, they could kind of like tease it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they maybe got one more big cameo up their sleeve that they didn't release ahead of the show that they want to surprise people with. But at this point, I think a death is more likely at this point.
Yeah. Or like a full Green Goblin. A Green Goblin that's neither Osborne. Right? Like a surprise
like a
Goblin.
trick Goblin.
Yeah. That'll probably
Tony
get
Stark
people
is Green Goblin. He's both. He's Iron Man
or
and Green
he
Goblin.
gets his own No Way Home moment where another Spider-Man shows up and kind of like, but then it's like you've done it 3 times now.
Yeah, I mean it's only 2 episodes. It is gonna be wild to see what happens. I thought Tangled Web would reveal this other Spider.
I know, me too. I really thought so.
Yeah.
But it's more of an emotional tangle.
We'll see how it goes.
Revenge of the Mook asking, can we get a Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur showing up in here? I don't think they're part of the same timeline, the 2 shows, but I think that a crossover feels very likely. But I don't know if Moon Girl has gotten another season. So that's the only sticky part there. But I think that it would be smart of them to do that. There was another thing that I wanted to. Lots of people were asking, will Lonnie get the powers of Tombstone?
I was wondering about this too.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting, right? We're seeing like why he feels so indebted to the gang. He really feels like, this is like another team, right? And we see Don even like kind of like approving, like give him a look of approval when he's like, listen, we're all together, we can do it.
Yeah,
we're gonna
does
take
like the
down
quarterback thing, right?
Yeah. And we can see that Lonnie's is very good about bringing people together.
Big Don's like, man, I'm great. I'm so glad I ruined this kid's life. Hey, good on you, Big Don. That was a smart move, ruining this kid's life.
Yeah.
He had his whole life ahead of him, and I derailed it. Great stuff, Big Don.
What's better?
Good work out there.
What's better than a bulldozer? A tombstone.
Because they teased that they're gonna find Otto Octavius' lab, though I would assume the DOGC would have taken everything at this point.
That's the other thing, right? Like, where are they even if they go there and the DOGC is there, they're not gonna like arrest them.
No,
it's like, they're just gonna be like, you can't be here. Yeah. So
I would think they would scope it out before they just walk in too.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be tech that fuses to Lonnie to make him?
Yeah.
Or is it just that like Big Don dies this episode in the finale and Lonnie just takes over?
And he steps up and he is just
in a
this
weird
guy.
way.
Yeah,
and he doesn't have any powers yet, but they're just like putting him in that position. And the next season will be about him becoming like a criminal mastermind. We also, we see Dmitry Smerdyakov again.
Yeah.
He's wearing the chameleon mask. Thank God it's not his actual skin. Take notes, Craven the movie. Spumsy. Mourn you till we join you. But he's wearing a mask and gloves. Yeah. But we don't know if he can do anything yet underneath that. He's just like, this way the cops won't recognize me? Yeah, sir. Okay.
He needs a little like AI tech on that. Some face generating.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. We'll see if he can do any sort of shape-shifting, or will Rhino come back by the end of this season?
Right. Anyone with tech or without, or like if there's, Dr. Connor's energy thing sets off a weird blast throughout the city and everyone gets mutated, and she's like, whoopsie.
Shouldn't have had all those animals near the gamma radiation.
I like that idea that Big Dom probably either he sacrifices himself or is, killed in battle or something, and Lonnie has to step up. I think the prequel comics are setting up a very like other gangs in the area as well. I don't think all the prequel comics are out yet, which is very interesting. I'm excited to kind of dive through all of them. I know Jessica's read the first two. I think I've only read the first one. I think that will also set up how Nico and Peter got so close, because obviously in episode 1 we see them meet for the first time. They haven't met each other yet, and he like passes out after hearing her name, and she's obviously like very offended by that. But that would be an interesting way to tie some of the story they're setting up there into, okay, now there's going to be this big turf war from all the gangs throughout New York City, and Lonnie's going to have to be like stepping up to defend them, and the choices that he'll make under that pressure, right? Be it embrace some tech or find like a vat of radioactive material or something.
Yeah, some Daredevil's like, hey, I know where there's some radioactive goo you can splash on yourself. That'll help. That makes me think, during that first fight, right after people got bit, didn't he have a moment that was a little Spidey sensey when like he was like, oh, that's about to smash into that? I don't remember. I'll have to go back and rewatch it. We maybe saw some spider sense in that first episode.
But it's definitely, even if we did, it hasn't been something that's
it's not been his main thing. That usually the 90s cartoon is always like, ah!
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happens when people got phones.
I always liked it in the Spider-Verse when like spider people meet and it sets them off for each other.
Yeah, it's really good detail.
It's cute.
All right, as we start to wrap it up here, we skipped this, but Shree's saying favorite moment from these episodes. What was the funniest moment for each of you? Mine was Harry getting jump scared by Nico's foster mom.
That was good.
Yeah.
Funniest moment. That was pretty good. I like anything like Dr. Willie says. He's like my favorite.
Yeah.
He hates those kids
He
so
hates
much.
him so much.
That's pretty good.
Amadeus show being like, my pride's gonna be as bruised as Peter's face, and the two girls going, hey.
Yeah, those are like the funniest.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love that scorpion fight. Like all the action sequences have been really fun on this show.
Yeah, and they weren't afraid to kind of like be really brutal with that for a show that is definitely aimed towards a younger
really got
demographic.
stabbed like hard.
2 people got stabbed. This is wild.
Brutal stuff.
Yeah, the Doc Ock stuff's so funny.
Yeah, Doc Ock's incredible.
Him playing video games in the background, so goofy.
There's just like really smart little choices being made. It's like a little more clever than not that it deserves to be, but then you expect it to be. Mm-hmm. Like they're having a lot of fun. It's clear that the writers love this show. Showrunner Jeff Trammell really loves Spider-Man. And is really trying to make something a little better than you expect. You know? I think of like I've made this comparison a lot. Mainly because I was just catching up on it, but like My Friendly Neighborhoods, my Adventures with Superman.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that show's like a little, I don't want to say simpler because it's all for kids, right? In a lot of ways, but sometimes it can seem a little simple in its storytelling. Mm-hmm. This one is going for like a little heavier stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the real weight and the ramifications of what can happen. Mm-hmm. And just like these very honest conversations with Lonnie and Pearl. Even just these moments with like Harry and Nico, like it's not there's nuances and levels to it that that it's expressed well. And even though they're getting along now, I still feel like Nico is hiding something big about what she assumes Harry or the Osborns had to do with her parents.
Yeah, and I think that like this show works so well, like the fact that I think there's a quote about how they wanted to like show all the people that make up Spider-Man's life and Peter's life, right? The neighborhood of people, so to speak. And that works with a character like Spider-Man because we've seen so many iterations of Spider-Man, but with a similar like moral compass and a similar struggle, right? While we don't have the full like Uncle Ben moment yet, we know that like we'll probably get something like that, and we know he's already like haunted by the death in a certain way, right? He's missing that in his life. And so when you have a character so reliable in their storytelling that's going to appeal to people generally, and also like they know what they're going to expect, it allows you to lift up all the other characters and use that as like a through line and a center point that is easier to deliver on when you have other characters you want to spend more time on too.
Yeah, Noah Chen, one of our researchers that helps on the breakdowns, he was kind of pointing this out too, the similar idea where it's like a lot of times Peter is isolated at school, like he doesn't have a lot of friends and he feels alone. But this show's like the opposite. He's like friends with everyone. People really like him, and he feels like he's letting them down. And like he's always late, which is like a joke he makes. But I love that like in one of the classrooms, he's trying to pass a note to Nico, and the guy's like, I don't even know who you are, dude. He doesn't know what the project is with Pearl. He's like really fucking up. He's not doing his job at the internship. Dr. Connors is covering for him in a weird way. But yeah, he's like, he feels like he's failing because he's not there enough for all these people who like love him. Like even when like Lonnie sees him hang out with Pearl, I don't feel like Lonnie's mad that like, oh, this guy's getting close to my girl. He's more like, oh, I miss hanging out with my buddy Petey.
Yeah.
I miss doing that. Now I'm gun running with the 110. Pearl showing up and there's being a table of guns.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
Pearl.
Worst time. Truly.
Pearl, go back to the pool, girl.
She didn't get to see them eat burritos or whatever.
I know. Like, if you came a different day, they're just eating burritos and playing video games. You came today, they're sorting guns. And then meanwhile, Dre is just like,
dude,
that kid is a fucking menace.
But Dre had a good reason, you know. Dre was like, I didn't want to be in my brother's
I'm the
shadow.
fuck up, so I fuck things up is not a good reason.
No, but he was trying to find a place for himself.
Not again! Not again!
I think
this family is literally like, dinner's ready almost any minute now.
Oh,
Lonnie's
dude.
like, I gotta get the hell out of here. Dre, why were you running away? You felt like a fuck up, dude?
The sound design.
Learn lacrosse. I don't know. Pick a different sport.
The sound design shift for when his mom Lonnie's mom calls him, and it's like you can hear the music in the background, and then when they go to Lonnie's, it's just silent. It's just like, oh, the juxtaposition of the two worlds like that. I said I'd use my hands less. I didn't.
Put those hands down.
So let's see. The last question I'm gonna hit here, I think, as far as this episode goes, before we talk about who gets the cover art. Sarah has been asking, and I'm sure other people have asked this as well, do you think we will get a typical with great power comes great responsibility, or will Norman's version be the only one? It would be really interesting if Doctor Strange's appearance is him sharing that line. He's like, I've been in so many universes, I've met so many Spider-Man, and something they tell me is great power also comes great responsibility.
I do think we'll get a correction at some point, and I wonder if like it will be Spider-Man saying it to like a Green Goblin.
Like he reframes it in his head.
Uses the words back against him. Because I did appreciate that Harry was like, well, look at it from my dad's perspective. You know, of course he thinks this way, right?
Yeah.
He has a lot of power and it comes from respect. But he also acknowledged to Peter, like, if you feel like that's not true for Spider-Man, don't let it be true for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right? Which I appreciate that. Like, Harry had his back there. It wasn't just like on his dad's side.
100%.
Because I feel like, I don't know if that's a message that Norman has directly shared with Harry. And I do wonder if some point Harry's going to get jealous and be like, why does my dad love Peter so much and see him as so strong?
Yeah.
Is it just because he has powers? I should have powers. I'm going to stick the blood in my body and become the Green Goblin first, right? Like that can happen at some point.
The fact that we haven't seen any
it feels like a season 2 arc for me, though.
Yeah, and we haven't seen any one-on-one conversations between the two of them, and they always like seem like they're like in the middle of something.
Yeah, it's always like interrupting something.
Yeah,
and he's always like, oh, no, my son can leave. It's
yeah. Wild. All right, well,
so for these 3 episodes, we got to decide who should get the cover art, right? Who really stood out for you in these 3 episodes? Do you have a pick who you think should get the cover?
Nico.
Why
not? I mean, it really is obviously Peter, like, because he
Spider-Man put his body on the line.
He
got stabbed. He's trying to get back out there, trying to get,
but for the nice variant art, variant cover book art, first one I'm picking is Nico, because I wasn't sold on the character in the first couple of episodes. I thought maybe some of I was like, I can see this storyline and how it's going to play out, and I don't know. But I think that the voice actor really brought it these last couple episodes, and I think they really did a great job. And I'm liking where the story goes, especially as we see her interacting with the amulet more. Can't wait to see what happens.
My cover art would be like Daredevil fighting. Great fight. Charlie Cox doing a great job in the
really good.
voiceover.
I thought it was really good.
It didn't sound like the Daredevil we know.
Yeah.
It sounded like a different Daredevil.
Yeah.
And I like the tude. I like I like that he's pulling his punches.
Yeah.
Because he knows he can tell it's a kid.
Yeah.
He knows it's a child's heartbeat. He knows what a child's heartbeat sounds like. Why is everyone shaking their hand? He's just a smart guy and he listens a lot. And I don't. Maybe we'll see him again in these next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was just like a surprise little cameo. And
I mean,
plays a bigger role in season 2. I imagine the big fight at the end, he maybe calls in a favor.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, a different show would have, or maybe this.
But I feel like Daredevil doesn't need to show up again unless Green Goblin makes himself known. But we'll see. Or maybe he shows up and Peter thinks he's protecting Norman.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would give the cover art to like Daredevil and Spidey in this.
We see Foggy in this?
No, absolutely not.
We see Karen Page?
No.
Just Daredevil.
Just Daredevil.
We see the
no
knight.
reason to see the friends of Matt Murdock.
Well, what if he's trying to get a lawyer? He's like, I need out of this internship. I don't know what I signed.
Do you think Peter, because as far as we know, Peter in the MCU hasn't met Daredevil. In this world, if Peter meets Daredevil first
Yeah.
as Spider-Man and then meets Matt Murdock, would he instantly know? Would his Spidey sense be able to tell him?
Well, I mean, we gotta know. Jury's out on the Spidey sense thing, right?
Jury's out. Your Honor, I rest my case. I'm a pretty good lawyer. I'm something of a lawyer myself.
There we go. That's what it is. That's the line. That's the line.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Incredible.
Okay, well, that's it for us today. Make sure to subscribe to the Breakroom channel right here on YouTube and give us a follow on Twitch where we do videos like this live. Make sure to follow our social channels at Breakroom NR on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, wherever you can find us. Maybe even TikTok. We have a TikTok?
I guess I'll find out.
And don't worry, we have access to it. We'll catch you next time. Latest, guys.
See ya.
Bye.